Good morning all. What we're going to be doing in this video is set builder, interval notation and the number line. We are going to be working with slides 1 to 7. Now before I start, I just want to get some notation down which will help answer these questions. If we have got inequalities that look like that or like that, we are going to be using an open dot with square brackets. If you are dealing with inequalities that have the equal signs underneath, we are going to be dealing with a closed dot and square brackets. Okay, so if we look at example 1, they are asking us represent the following on the number line. So they've given us two different notations here. I'm just going to write them down so we can see what they are. Now, this one over here, this is your set builder notation. And this one in this form is your interval notation. How can I tell the difference between the two? A set builder notation has your curly brackets, and your interval notation has this X as an element at the front. This is the main one that we're going to be dealing with. It's a lot simpler and easier to understand than your set builder. Now, these are saying exactly the same thing. They are saying that X lies between -3 and 2, between -3 and 2, where -3 is included, that's what the square bracket means, and 2 is excluded. That's what the round bracket means. So to draw this on a number line, and just draw up your number line. The smaller number goes on the left, and the bigger number goes on the right. Now, if we have a look at your interval notation, it's an easy one to work with. It has a square bracket. A square bracket means you get a round dot, a closed dot. So you put the closed dot on the top of -3. And if we have a look at 2, 2 has a round bracket. Round bracket means you get an open dot. And it is saying that X must lie between these two numbers. So I draw up my number line between those two numbers. And that is your number line. If we look at example 2, again, they've given us two different notations. And they are saying exactly the same thing. I'm going to be working with the interval notation. It's just the easier one to work with. So what this is saying, it's saying that X must be an element. In other words, X must lie between -infinity and -5. Just on a side note, infinity will always get a round bracket, depending on if it's a negative or a positive infinity. It will always have a round bracket, infinity. So let's draw up our number line for this. Now, infinity is not a number, so we can't represent it on the number line. What I can do is I can put down the -5 as that is a number. That has a round bracket. Round bracket means you get an open dot. So how do we represent which way our line is going to go? Well, it's saying that it must be less than -5 up to this -infinity. So we're going to draw it in this direction, and we just put a little arrow on the end representing that it goes all the way down to infinity. If we look at example 3, they are asking us to represent these two things on the number line. Again, I'm going to be using the interval notation. It's the easier one to read. This sign over here just means union. All union means is you are joining two solutions together. Our one solution is over here and our second is over there. So we are just joining those two solutions together. So if we draw up our number line and we put our two numbers down. Now, again, grade 10s, minus infinity and infinity are not numbers, so we can't represent them on the number line. So the first one that we put down is -1, and the next one we put down is 2. In the order they would go like that. This has a square bracket. Remember, a square bracket has a closed dot. This one has a round bracket. Round bracket means an open dot. Now, if I just focus just on this one, it is saying that x must lie from minus infinity up to -1. So our line is going to go in this direction like this, from -1 down to minus infinity. That one is done now. If we focus on this one here, we are going from 2 to infinity. So it's going from 2 up to infinity. As you can see, there is nothing that lies between -1 and 2. So if we have a look at example 4 now, example 4, they are asking us write the following in interval notation, where they've actually given us the number line, and now we have to do the reverse. So that is what the question looks like. Now I have to write it in this notation here. That is what they're asking for, interval notation, not set builder notation. So what I do is I see I've got numbers ranging from -2 up to 1. So we're going from -2 up to 1. Remember what the closed dots mean? Closed dots mean square brackets. And just for your interval notation, you just add in an x as an element on the front. That is your interval notation for that number line. If we look at example 5, the number line that they've given us, so as you can see, this is going down to minus infinity up to -3. So I put down my two limits. -3 has an open dot. Open dot means round bracket. As I explained on the previous page, infinity or negative infinity always get a round bracket, as it is not a number. For interval notation, just remember to add in your x as an element on the front, and there is the solution for that number line. Right, grade 10s, please would you do exercise 1.18 for me, please? Thank you.